message here is keep pressure on Iran, and what's really important is, as the Vigil tonight is calling for, is all political prisoners need to be free.
I think there are institutions in the global arena that can hold the regime accountable. Certainly our allies in Europe are significant players in this. Many of our European allies still have ties with the regime in Iran.
Members of Iranian-American community gathered near White House on Friday night, holding candles, photographs, placards.
Support Iran's uprising! Now, now, now!
Support Iran uprising! Now, now, now! Khamenei is a murderer! Down with Khamenei!
Change, change, change! Regime change in Iran!
Change, change, change!
The Vigil honored thousands of Iranians believed to have been killed during the recent uprising inside Iran, which is one of the deadliest crackdowns since the 1979 Islamic Revolution.
Supporters of the Iranian resistance, the National Council of Resistance of Iran, have gathered in front of White House tonight to hold a candlelight vigil in memory of those who have fallen for freedom. As you know, the Iranian regime has killed thousands over the past 17 days, and there is an internet shutdown. Well, the message here is keep pressure on Iran, and what's really important is, as the Vigil tonight is calling for, is all political prisoners need to be free. So President Trump should set that as a new red line to have the Iranian regime release 50,000 protesters, peaceful protesters that were arrested by the regime.
Chants for freedom echoed through the cold night air as demonstrators condemned Iran's ruling clerical regime and demanded justice for those silenced by bullets, prisons, and gallows. Organizers say the message is clear: international pressure must not ease.
I think there are institutions in the global arena that can hold the regime accountable. Certainly our allies in Europe are significant players in this. Many of our European allies still have ties with the regime in Iran. Many of those nations, really all of them, are aware that all of the money and commerce that they're conducting goes through the IRGC, and the IRGC is directly responsible for the massacre that we saw unfolding in Iran just the last few days. I think those are important measures that our allies can take and must take, and certainly America's pressure on these allies can be a significant player.
Iran's deadly crackdown appears to have temporarily quelled protests, as state media reported fresh arrests amid an intensified security presence. The uprising began on December 28th over economic hardship, soaring prices, joblessness, and corruption, but quickly evolved into nationwide demonstrations demanding an end to clerical rule. According to opposition groups and even an Iranian official, more than 2,000 people were killed. Gunfire, mass detentions, and alleged executions became tools of suppression. The unrest unfolded in the shadow of repeated threats from U.S. President Donald Trump, who warned of very strong action if Iran continued executing protesters.
And by the way, to all Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions if possible, and save the name of the killers and the abusers that are abusing you. You're being very badly abused. If the numbers are right now, I hear 5 different sets of numbers. I hear numbers, look, 1 death is too much. But I hear much lower numbers, and then I hear much higher numbers. But I say save their names because they'll pay a very big price. And I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. And all I say to them is help is on its way. You saw that I put tariffs on anybody doing business with Iran. Just went into effect today. And I say, make Iran great again. You know, it was a great country until these monsters came in and took it over. And it's all very fragile. What would have happened to us? I'm telling you. If I didn't win this election, what would have happened to us? In the coming weeks, I will be laying out even more plans to help bring back affordability. And again, remember, that's a fake word by Democrats. Prices were too high. They caused the high price. They never want to talk about affordability. They always go, this is an election about affordability. I say, they caused it. But they're good at that stuff. They're good at that stuff. They're fake. And they're good at that stuff. It's an election about high prices that was caused by the Democrats and that I brought down a lot. And remember, when you see energy coming down like I brought it down, and gasoline coming down, that brings everything else down. It's so much bigger than any other factor. When gasoline gets to be $1.99 a gallon, everything comes down. The donuts come down, the truck that delivers the donuts, the stove that makes the donuts, the whole thing, it all comes down. And it's coming down much faster than anybody can even believe. And remember, though, I always say, because here normally when that goes down, the world comes down. That's the bad way of bringing it down. Our growth is through the roof. So I always want to say that whenever I say prices are coming down, but our growth is going way up. Two beautiful events, the exact opposite of the Biden administration. As part of those efforts at Davos next week, I'm going to provide much more detail about our housing policies so that every American who wants to own a home will be able to afford one. We have some great things happening with housing, as you know. You saw the $200 billion buy-in on bonds and mortgages. This will include a ban on large institutional investors buying up single-family homes all over the country and making it impossible for people to buy a home. And I've also announced that the U.S. government is purchasing $200 billion of mortgage bonds to bring down mortgage rates, and it's had a huge impact. It's already started. And just last week, the average 30-year mortgage dropped below 6% for the first time in many years. It's coming down very rapidly, and that's not with the help of the Fed. If I had the help of the Fed, it would be easier. But that jerk will be gone soon. In addition, I proudly called for the credit card companies to cap interest rates at 10% for 1 year because they're getting 28% and 30% and 32%. And it's unfair. The rates are way too high. To provide further relief to hardworking Americans, we'll also be confronting one of the biggest factors in driving up prices, the monstrosity known as the Unaffordable Care Act. You know what that is, right? It's Obamacare. It's a great name, Unaffordable Care Act. Nope. Did anybody ever think of that one before? It's true. It's the Unaffordable Care Act. Obamacare was a gift to make health insurance companies rich at the expense of the American people. In particular, the so-called enhanced premium tax credits were a corrupt payoff to the insurers, whose stock prices went up more than 1,000% after Obamacare was signed. I want the same money I want it to go directly, very simple. I want the money, those big amounts of money paid for by the government, to go directly to the people so they can buy the health care that's right for them. They can negotiate their own deal, health care savings account, but they'll buy their own health care. And everybody loves it. That's why later this week, I'll announce our healthcare affordability framework that will reduce premiums for millions of lower drug prices, delivering price transparency and demand honesty and accountability from insurance companies all over the country, all over the world, actually. Healthcare costs will come down very fast with my most favored nation executive order. We're doing most favored nation drug prices. When we would have drug prices stay the same, everybody thought it was great. They're going to be coming down thousands of percents. We're standing up to special interests and slashing prescription drug prices by 300, 400, 500, and even 600% and more.